we talk about him during spring training, and the offensive upside is there. He understands a lot of things about hitting. His moves and what he needs to do to be successful. Obviously, there's going to be some swings and misses, but it's not like going to spring training because I didn't see him last year because he was hurt. Everybody's talking about swings and misses, and I thought it was going to be out of control, and it's not that way. He's looking for pitches, and he understands what they're trying to do against him, and he's a good hitter. I hope so. Yeah. I think that ball is gone anywhere. So, but he's a guy that little by little he's going to understand that he can drive the fastball to right center, and whenever they hang something soft like they did yesterday, he's going to put him in time, and he can hit over the wall or off the wall. But I think he has a pretty good idea of who he is as a hitter and what he wants to do.
Is it easier to integrate a guy at second base these days than just you're like Milwaukee with Shaw?
Yeah, but you didn't make it to Tampa, huh? No. Yeah, so nah, just joking. We talk about that, and it's different, because of the information that you get, and you put guys in spots that the ground balls are gonna go. It's his routine plays at second base or even shortstop and third, and then the double play rule, it helps out. We talk about a few years ago before the rule, you take pride of turn a little play and get it out of the way, and now it's kind of like catch it and throw it, and the runner, he needs to slide. If he hits you, it's a double play anyway. So nothing against him or other guys that are playing second base because they're still great athletes, but that part of the game is not part of what they do at second base now.
Where do you or the organization see him defensively?
I haven't seen him that much playing defense. He played a few innings in first base, so we see him here at second. We see him at third base. He's a good athlete. He was a shortstop, so if you were a shortstop back, whenever you sign or when you have a pretty good idea how to play an infield. One thing about him, I think he, like the other day, without much repetitions at the big league level, his internal clock is better than what we saw in spring training. The double play, a few routine balls. That's where the first one he saw in spring training, he just went woof, like he needed to go get it and throw it, and now he's staying back and making the play. So I don't want to get ahead of myself. I got to see him more. There's a few people that feel like in the corners he's going to be fine, but you see him at second base, and he's making plays. He actually, there was a ball they hit in Tampa to his left that he went by. He dove for it. It was actually a good jump. Like he where I was like, oh, that was good. That's a good sign. So we'll see. But one thing for sure, he's going to be a good offensive player. Honestly, since Tampa, and I know the first game yesterday wasn't great, but that guy is pretty good. But yesterday, the line was moving yesterday. We walk, and when you start walking, that's a good sign. You start controlling the strike zone. We did it in Tampa. We did it yesterday in the second game. Now it's just a matter of getting that hit with runners in scoring position. We had a lot of traffic the whole day, so if we're going to take a look at something positive out of what we saw yesterday, was like, we're controlling the strike zone. We're walking a little bit more than what we did in the early part, the first 10 days. So controlling the strike zone is the most important thing for this team, and swinging the pitches in the middle of the zone, and that was a positive. The negative, well, we didn't get the big hit. We had the right guys in certain situations, and then it happened. But as far as like the approach and where we're going, and then you start looking from top to bottom with the lineup that we have, there's a few quality at bats right now. Yesterday stopped, but if you forget the game and start looking individually, there's a lot of good at bats in the lineup. It's just a matter of putting them in together.
How tough is it for you to
It's part of my job, but this is me. I'm not positive because it's my job. I'm positive because that's who I am. I know a lot of people, they see the glass half empty. I don't. I learned that a few years ago, and it's not because of what happened last year or what is going on right now. This is who I am. And somebody asked me about this. Well, rookie managers this year. What's your best advice? Be yourself. I'm not going to change. I'm the same guy that went into that interview room in New York, when Dave and everybody was there and they asked me questions, and it's the same guy, either you're 20 games over or 10 games under, that's the way I am. Brock, he hit earlier today. There's a pretty good chance he's going to go on a rehab assignment this weekend. He feels good. Actually, he was taking ground balls live when Nooney and Dustin were swinging today. So he feels good. He feels good. I think one more day of BP in here is gonna get him to the point that he's comfortable with what's going on, and we'll send him to a rehab assignment. Dustin today, he hit outside. He looked okay. Yesterday he ran too. I think he was going to take ground balls. We'll see how he reacts with that, and then we'll talk about it obviously tonight and tomorrow to see what's the next step. And Eduardo, he took like 300 swings yesterday during the doubleheader, so that's a good sign. And then today he was out there swinging with velocity, so he feels better. He he took ground balls too, so it wouldn't surprise me if in the upcoming days he'll go and play a few games too on a rehab assignment. Johnson, he threw 60 feet, I want to say, yesterday. He's feeling better, Actually, like I said a few days ago, we're very excited with him. At one point, we were fearing the worst, and that's not the case. But, right now, that's where he's at. That's the rumor, yeah. He faced some college pitchers, I guess. I don't know. I think so, yeah. You saw him? Yeah? Okay. Weak contact in the strike zone. That's very important. I think there's guys that when they stay within the zone, they get mashed. There's others that induce the opposition to weak contact. I think we got one of those, and with Eduardo. Eduardo is that way, I think. Yeah. So also swings and misses. We live in an era that pitching to contact is we like swings and misses and pop-ups. We avoid contact, especially in certain situations. So that's something very important. Last year was the first time in the history of the game that happened.
Why did and how concerned are you that will be a growing trend?
I don't know. I think we like our guys to make contact. That's something we take pride. I think it's too early for us to see who we are offensively. Are we striking out too much? Are we making contact? Whatever. It's only 24 games, 23 games. But like I said last year, and we like strikeouts, but when we play in defense, and we like making contact when we're in offense. As an industry, I don't know. I mean, I'm a fan of the game, but I don't watch too many games besides ours, so it's just something that is the nature of the sport, swings, and I honestly feel that the stuff that we see on a nightly basis is better than, and sorry, but it's true, it's better than at any other moment in the history of the game. We have guys that are throwing 95 and cutting the ball, they're spinning the ball. They used to be sinker ball pitchers, and now they throw cutters, and there's so much stuff that goes on to shape pitches and so much information about hitters. I think the pitching side of it, analytic-wise, is ahead of the hitting side of it, and It's just that, now, there's no 88 sinker and a little slider. Now the guy that pitches the fifth inning and the sixth inning is throwing 97, 98. So I think that has a lot to do with what's going on.
When a veteran like Priscilla makes an adjustment like he did his last start, mechanical adjustment, and saw good results, are you a little more confident that he can carry it over to his next start for a long time than maybe a younger pitcher?
I think so, yeah. It's because they understand themselves better than a young kid, and that's part of the minor league process. You get X amount of innings, so you understand who you are. It's not only your stuff, it's your delivery and make adjustments. And yeah, you got pitching coaches and pitching coordinators and all that, but at the end, you feel what you're supposed to do to be consistent on a daily basis, delivery-wise, and it's a process. It's just like a hitter, although now hitters get called up right away, but back in the day, they always said, 1,000 at-bats, for a hitter, so he really understood who he was, and I think that's part of development. I think his fastball was good. The last one, he was able to spot it. And that's a start. That's a good start. I'm okay with him. I think he's going to be fine.
Now, as you mentioned last night, Darwinson facing Cabrera as a big ball pitcher where he's from. Curious if there was a guy like that for you.
Well, Javi Vasquez is one of my best friends, so that was always a fun matchup. Towards the end, I never faced Randy when he was in his prime, but, he played with my brother in Seattle in '95 when they won the wild card and all that stuff. They did what they did. Facing Randy was exciting, but he was in San San Fran at that point, so he was a guy, yeah, kind of like, whoa. I'll play against? Yeah. I mean, yeah. And my brother, my first big league game was against him, so, but that's like family stuff, But Robbie Alomar, he was always the guy that I always look up to. Player-wise, and playing against him was, like, okay, this is pretty cool. I think he actually robbed me one game. He dove to the right and got me, so I was excited. I was like, wow, that's my favorite player, and he just did that to me. Cool.
There was one reason why you average was 10 or 15 points higher. You didn't have to face Johnson.
Actually, I was 1 for 3 against Randy, so my average was higher because of that.
I know that you talked about Jackie yesterday, but just in terms of day-to-day, like, to what degree does last year's ability to turn around, to change the results in the season, give you confidence that?
No, we trust the player. I trust him, and it's just a matter of make a few adjustments. And like I said, I think hitting today out there is gonna help him out. Hit a few balls the other way to left center. I think that's a good feeling for him. And last year it started that way. A few balls through the shortstop hole in the shift, a few balls the other way, and then everything else opened up. So that's what we're hoping for. For him to hit a few balls the other way, and he can stay on fastballs that way, hit it hard that way, and then whatever they throw soft in the zone, he can get to it and put him in time, and he can hit a ballpark.
That said, like, he, very consciously made swing adjustments for the offseason. Starting last season was really building them for the offseason. Like, how does that give you any additional caution? You know that, like, he's trying to figure out a new swing on the fly against what you described as the best pitchers of all time.
Yeah, I mean, that's something we always talk about, coaches. But you work, and if you feel you have to do better and be better, then that's what you do in the off season. I rather him trying to improve his swing than just sitting at home and hang out and not do nothing and then show up and let me figure out. So he has a pretty good idea what he wants to do. The communication with Tim and Andy is great. So it's just a matter of putting everything together. And like I say about Mookie, it takes one swing. It's one swing, and it clicks. So hopefully we can get that swing tonight, and he gets going.